Okay, so Virgo Rising. And before I get into the Virgo Rising sign and how that typically expresses itself, I just want to briefly go over what exactly is our rising sign. So our rising sign is the energy that we feel come over and come out of us when we are either around people that we don't know, like it could be in a crowd of people, like at a game, it could be at the mall, at Target, just anywhere that we don't know people and that we're not 100% comfortable with. It's that energy that we naturally feel come out of us and present a different side of our personality. But not only does this rising energy come out when we're around people that we don't know, sometimes it can come out when we are around people that we haven't been around in a long time. It could be friends, it could be family members, or just people that we're just generally still learning to become comfortable with. But not only is our rising sign like our first impression sign, as some people like to refer to it as, it's also the sign that we are learning to rise and further ascend into, and that's why it's called our rising sign, because it's the sign that is rising on the horizon when we're born, and so that energy is imprinting into us when we come out of our mother's womb, and so we're learning to literally rise further into this energy, because like I was saying, it's already a very natural part of our personality that we don't have to try to bring out of us. It's just there. So someone with a Virgo rising is going to be someone who presents themselves as very calm, very practical, very stable, very grounded. Virgo is an earth energy, so they like to present themselves as very, very earthy. So not only do they present themselves with these earth qualities, being as though Virgo is a sign of analysis and organization, they're going to be the ones that like to be the organizers. Because they can analyze the situation and they can be like, okay, this is what we need. You do this, you're good at that, you're good at this, I'll do this, and we'll do all of this together. They're the ones that can really step up and really assign where everybody would feel or fit best. And with that, they're really able to organize groups and crowds in order to get the desired outcome that crowd or that group is trying to obtain. So they're going to absolutely present themselves with their natural analytical and organizational skills. Not only that, but Virgo is also the sign of perfection. Virgos like to be perfect. It's kind of hard for a Virgo to not show that perfectionist side of themselves. It's something that they really have to work through. And so when they are first meeting people, they're going to want to show the very perfect and innocent sides of themselves. How Virgo is associated with the virgin energy. So they're going to present themselves with this virgin, innocent energy. And like I was saying, and very perfectionist-like energy. It's also a very feminine energy, being as though it's an earth sign. So that kind of just adds into how they present themselves with this very innocent, very soft, can be very nurturing energy. The Virgo rising also is someone that likes to be of service. Virgos literally like to help people in whatever way they can help. So if someone is in need, if someone needs their skills or their abilities, or they just see someone that they feel like can use help and their help at that, if they feel like they know how to help this person, they're going to be the ones to put themselves out there. They're going to be one of the first people to really put themselves out there and offer their services, offer their help, offer their ability to nurture. And because they're so analytical, they can really see what someone really might need, and they're really able to step up and offer and give that to them. A Virgo rising is also going to be someone who might initiate conversations on health and fitness and wellness, because Virgos are very attuned to the body and our digestive system and how we're feeding our bodies and our digestive system and the health that we're giving to our bodies, whether that's with food and herbs or with our physical activity. A Virgo rising might be that one that's hey, let's go run, or hey, let's go get into some physical activity, or let's go do some yoga, or let's go, eat some vegan food, or let's go get some herbs. They're going to be the one that can not only initiate actually doing these activities, but they can initiate having these conversations about what is health. How do we achieve health? How do we get this wellness, mind, body, and soul? They're going to be the ones that when they pull up to an event, or let's say you guys are going hiking or something, they're going to be the ones that got the fruit, that got the good water, they got all the good stuff that we need for ourselves. They're probably also going to be the ones that have the band-aids and the bandages and whatever cleaning stuff that we need in case somebody gets hurt, because they're so prepared and they're so organized that they're really just able to really like access all the needs of the crowds and themselves in a lot of settings, in almost all of the settings, because Virgos are so prepared. They're such a practical sign that they're always preparing, they're always organizing, and they're always like thinking ahead. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so their mind and their intellect is like exalted. So a Virgo is literally going to be thinking about what other people are not thinking about. Like I was saying, they're going to be the one thinking about the bandages and the food and what might we need when we're out there, what might we need on this day or at this event. And not only with this Virgo energy are they going to be able to tap into that part of their mind and their intellect, but being as though their rising sign is ruled by Mercury, a planet of communication and conversation and intellect, a Virgo rising really has the ability to have very broad conversations with literally just about anybody. It's similar to a Gemini rising, where they can really talk to anybody. They can have any kind of conversation, especially if they're already very well known and versed in this subject or phenomena. A Virgo rising is really going to be able to just have conversation and give more insight, more intellect to this conversation, to this person. But in general, they're just great conversationalists, and they can really have a conversation with just about anybody, with just about anything. And even if they don't necessarily know a certain subject or phenomena that someone's talking about, they're going to be very open to learning and hearing about it so that they can further their own mind and their own intellect. So like I was saying before, not only is our rising sign the energy that we present to the world, the energy that we present to people when we're still getting comfortable with them or just meeting them, it's also the energy that we're learning to rise into. So a Virgo rising is learning to be more practical, more stable, more grounded, learning to dive more into their intellect, learning to dive more into how they can be of service to people, how they can give to people, how they can nurture people, how they can see someone that needs their help and put themselves out there in order to use the best of their Virgo qualities and Virgo abilities. A Virgo rising is also learning to tune more into their body. Virgo is ruled by the digestive system, so their digestive systems are very, very sensitive. Anyone with Virgo energy, strong Virgo energy, has a sensitive digestive system. So they're learning to develop more of their health, more of their wellness, learning to develop more of their ability to tune into what their body needs and giving their body what it really needs. Learning to dive more into the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, all the things that the earth already gives us, because Virgo is an earth sign. So they really are fueled, and they really do well by giving their bodies earth fueled energies. Not only that, like I was saying, because Virgos are also very much into fitness, they're learning to rise and develop more of their fitness, more of their physical wellness. And that can be through yoga, that can be through running, that can be through dance. It can be through whatever way that manifests and that Virgo rising is being called to. But they're learning to develop more of tuning into their physical body as well, not just what they're eating. Another quality that the Virgo rising is learning to develop more of is also, because they're so analytical, sometimes they can be too analytical, too practical, too nitpicky, too perfectionist. So they're learning how to honestly stray away from that, trying to balance that out, balance that analyticalness, balance that need to be perfect, and learning how to also really tune into their emotional realm, because Virgo is ruled by the moon, so they are a very sensitive energy. So learning how to tune more into their emotions, feeling more into their emotions, and learning how to balance their emotions with their analytical mind so that they're not too analytical or too emotional is also something that the Virgo rising is learning to rise and develop more of. And last but not least, a Virgo rising is also learning how to tune more into their 3D world, because Virgo is an earth sign. So they're learning how to be more practical, more grounded, like I was saying, and more stable. So they're learning how to develop more of their money, more of their finances, more of their stability in every part of their life. Okay, just kidding, one more thing. So one other thing that the Virgo energy is also learning to develop is learning to develop more of their intellect, more of their communication, because they're ruled by Mercury and they already have this natural ability to communicate and converse with people. They're learning to dive deeper into their intellect because they have such these strong powers of analysis and organization. So learning to dive further into how they can analyze, how they can really get into the nitty-gritty of something that they're studying or something that they're being drawn and gravitated to, they'll really be able to really take a hold of their natural, beautiful intellectual mind. And so Virgo rising is learning to develop more of these skills, all of these skills. So that's a Virgo rising. If you liked anything at all in this video, or if you learned something in this video, definitely hit that like button. Tell me down below in the comments what you liked or what you learned, and be sure to also hit that subscribe, because I will be posting weekly videos on astrology for the next few months. Honestly, for like another year or so. I have so much to get into, and soon I'm going to really start getting into the combinations. So like a Libra sun with an Aries moon, or a Taurus sun with a Sagittarius moon. And I'm going to start getting into those after I finish up these rising signs and after I do Venus signs for every zodiac sign.